Hello again. This is my third tutorial video for the animation tool, and in this video I would like to explain some more functions of the tool that will help you to make animations. So let's do it in order. I am now in the first tab, models, and you can use, for example, this control to show the wireframe of the models, and you can see joints in the animations. These are basically the points around which the model will rotate, for example hands or neck. Also useful is this grid on off, and all other controls are not too important here, so let's just keep them. This control here, I have already explained in a previous video that it is used to change clothes for model, and also important is this check button here, which is called force mesh set, and what it will do when you check it, these clothes will be also forced in the game. Otherwise, when it's unchecked, the game itself will decide which clothes will be used in the animation. So, for example, when you are using sex animation, you want to switch to nude clothes and press force mesh set. In that case, the models will be nude in the game. Otherwise, they will keep their clothes on. Let's move here. This is the save scene control. When you are working on a scene, you have animations, models open, and you want to pause the work and do something else and return to it later. You can just save the scene, enter some name. In this case, it's temp, but you can put here different name. And then when you exit the animator and run it again, you can just load the scene, and it will automatically load all the models and all the animations that were in the previous scene. You can also use this button to load last scene you were working on. When each time you close the animator, it saves the scene, and you can press this button just to continue with your work here. Here is a control for model modifications. I will skip this completely because you will not be able to use it right now. You need different tool. When you press this button, it will open the model edit window where you can see all joins and all meshes, and these meshes are saved in external files, and you don't have them right now, so you will not be able to edit this and use this. Right. Okay, so let's move to second tab. It's animations. We have already spoke about this. Here are the join groups and a tool for rotating them and offsetting them. Here you can add sets, and here are things called phases. I will make entire different tutorial for this because they are quite complicated and quite important in the game. So I will get to them in different tutorial. So animation control group, you can set the speed of the animation, faster, slower, and there are more buttons here, and I will explain them now. But first let's move our models to some different position. Like this one. I have now edited the first point of Jennifer animation, and the last point remain the same. And let's put a middle point here, which will be the interpolation between this point and this point. And let's say we want this point to have the same position as the starting point. We can do it like this: press start, and move to the other point. I press restore, and now they are exactly the same. We can also do it for the last point, restore, and now all three are the same. Enter point, it will put other animation point, delete point, it will delete the current point you are in, or also you can delete middle. Press this button to delete all points in the middle, but not starting point and end point. This point can never be deleted. You can enter point, delete point, but never you can delete starting point or end point. They must always be there. Also this button, it will create a new point, and it will set its value to the last previous point, in this case this one. So let's, for example, do it like this, and when I press copy, it will copy the value of this last point and copy it here into new one. So that's all for here. You can also use this button reverse to just reverse the animation. Start point will copy to end point will copy to start point, and all points in the middle will just reverse. And that's all buttons here. Now let's move here. Sometimes you want to make your animation a little bit easier by using this control here. Let's first move our mail to some position, like this one, for example. So starting point, and now I can press equal end to equal end point with starting point, and we have this position here. And let's make the animation by creating middle point, and let's do it like this. So this is the movement we want, but you can see his legs are not standing on the correct place, and they are moving, and we want them to be at the same place, and for this we can use this control here. So there is a joint here in the foot, and we want this joint to remain stationary. So we move to the leg, right leg joint group, and the foot joint is here, it's third joint. So we check the third checkbox, joint 3 here, and press this fix previous. And what this will do, it will look what was the position of the joint in previous point, and it will move entire model so that this point will remain stationary at the same position. And now we have better animation. We can animate a little bit better like this, and this is the movement we want. We can also do the same with Jennifer. Let's create middle point here, and let's move her legs like this. And once again, because they are on the ground, we want them to be stationary, so we move to right leg. It's once again a third joint, so it's already checked, and I fix previous, and she will now remain stationary on her legs. Also, for example, you sometimes want to copy not entire position of entire body, but only some joints, and you can also do this with this control. So once again, let's make the male hands like this, and we can equal end, so the end point will remain the same, but you can see the middle points. In middle point the hands remained in like this. So what we want to do, we want to copy the values from this point into this one, but only for hand, only for shoulder, elbow and hand. So we choose which joints we want to copy, and we can use previews to just copy the same the values from the previous point for these joints. Because his torso move it's a little bit off, so we can do it like this, and now it's better. So we have now this animation. Okay, so that's all for the controls in animation panel. Let's move to events. Here is events basically control particle generator. I will explain this in different tutorial video because it's quite complicated thing. So let's keep this one also. This is a close event. You can also change close in the middle of the animation, on the middle of the animation here. For example, we want to change his close to underwear here, add, and we want to have him have default close in the start, so now it will change in the middle of the animation. This is useful, for example, for animation when they are undressing. So in start of the animation they have clothes on, and then they make the undress animation and remove the clothes in the middle of the animation like this. You can delete this point also here. Now he will remain close. Here is the sound control for the animation. You can define what sound models will make. I will also skip this because it's will took too long, and you don't need this right now. I will make a different tutorial for it later. Here is some other functionality. The most important possibly is just this one, and even so you will not use it too much. This will basically move model for all points. For example, you realize after you make the animation that he's standing too close to Jennifer, and you want to move him a little bit further away. You can do it for each animation point, but this will just make it easier. You just decide which joint you want to move, for example body joint, and in which direction, and how much you can move it like this, and now all animation points are now modified. When this checkbox is unchecked, you do it only for current set. When it's checked, you do it for all sets. And when you have made a mistake, you can press back and it will move back. Also, you can edit rotation of joints. For example, you want his head to look on the Jennifer, so you select neck joint and select direction to which to rotate, and you can move it back, forward, backward like this, and this will edit once again all animation points. So in all animation points his head will be turned like this. As I said before, this is used mainly when you made some mistake or forget to rotate some joint, so you can easily edit it, or when you are using animation for different from different models. For example, there are female models with different heights. One is small, one is bigger, and you can load animation from one model to another, and it may not connect or it may not fit, so you can use this uh, control to move entire model to correct place. Uh, let's move here. Body generation. This is probably a topic for another tutorial. I will just slowly explain what it does. For this I need to open different model. For example, this one, and I will move her here. So some models have different body generation variables. For example, they can have different skin colors, like this one, and you can switch in here. They can have different hair colors, hairstyles, and also different textures, for example, like this. And this is basically to put some variation into the game, and you can use it, but you cannot right now create anymore because you just don't have tools to put it into the game. So let's move from here. And the last is called spot. Last tab is called spot, and spots are basically animations that contain more models. There are group animations like this one. For animations like this one, you can create spots, and when you press this button, it will automatically create the name of the spot, and you press save spot. And in this case, it also works a little bit similar to the scene, save scene. Now it's called spot. You can close the animation tool, and when you open it and press load spot, you can now find the spot we created here, and it will once again load all the models and all the animations in the game. So you can use it to, when you are working with several different animations, you can use it to save them and then open them later and continue working on them. But spots also add additional control, like camera control for cinematics, X-ray control, some additional communication control, and I will explain this later when we will be adding animations into the game, because right now you don't know what to do with it. So I will just finish right here with this. Okay, so that's all for today's tutorial. See you next time. Bye.